Many people are confused about the idea of gun control and guns in general. Even as someone who believes people have a right to defend themselves regardless of tools or methods, I cannot say for sure that owning a gun is the perfect solution, because ideally there will be no crime in the world. Anyway, even anti-gun people will gladly grab a firearm if they suddenly need to defend themselves or other people they care about. Not all of them, of course, or so they say anyway. Similarly, there are parents who claim they don't know whether their children have a fundamental right to private gender spaces. Regarding the whole transgender issue, some parents say they do not know how they will feel about their children seeing genitals of the opposite gender in such places. Is David Pakman such a parent? Yes, he is, and here's why.
We have a voicemail number. That number is 219-2DavidP. I'm going to play a voicemail for you from, I think it's fair to say this is an anti-transgender caller.
Hey, David. This is Bob in the Columbus area. I basically love your show, but when you were talking about the transgender issue, I think you really dropped the ball, because some of the things you've said is that even though they go through the HRT and they're biologically a woman, many of these people have fully intact male genitalia. So my question to you is that when your daughter goes into high school and she's in sports in a locker room, would you feel comfortable with a transgender woman who has fully intact male genitalia next to your daughter undressing? This is very bizarre.
Okay, so listen. First of all, I think it's important to point out that this caller is moving the goalposts. It's fascinating because first, it's all about fairness and performance and muscle mass and all of this stuff. And then we have this detailed conversation yesterday. It's nuanced. It really depends on the sports. There is an advantage that's maintained, but in a lot of sports, especially after a year of HRT, that is very much within the distribution of what you would expect, even among biological women. So then he just goes, yeah, but what about your daughter seeing a penis in the locker room? Well, but that's a completely different issue.
Alright, I'm just going to cut in here and say that David is unable to answer that one simple question for the rest of the video. But I should mention that the one moving the goalpost isn't the caller, it is David. The caller mentioned practically nothing about the gender fairness in sports. He just wanted to hear David's opinion regarding his own daughter being placed inside a locker with a boy. Or a fully grown man, even. No, instead of answering the question, he just dodges it by saying it is a completely different issue. Which it kind of is, but it says a lot about someone when they are clearly unable and unwilling to stay on topic and instead talk about something else. Like, David didn't even try facing the question head on, he immediately ran away from it. But like I said, what people say on camera in the past may be different from their actions in the future. For the sake of David's daughter, I hope her father is willing to defend her rights for when it truly counts. But as it currently stands, it would appear David is willing to choose his woke audience above the rights and safety of his own daughter.